Manchester, that's Usakuani in Kibwezi West constituency, where there were 84 polling stations that voted manually, and 154 polling stations in Kakamega, especially Malava constituency, in Kakamega, have all transmitted the from that 4As, except 2 in Malava constituency. What happened here is that voting was done manual, but by the time of counting, the commission had ensured that the KIMS kits were ready and deployed for transmission. So transmission took place as envisaged in those 2 areas where largely voting was done manually. Collecting and announcement of results in a majority of constituencies is complete, and the returning officers have now started coming to physically deliver the results from 34As and 34Bs here at BOMAS. And there are teams, as you can see, in the center of the auditorium working on it. And we hope that this exercise will largely take place mainly between today and tomorrow, and we hope to finalize in due course. As I said yesterday, just to repeat what's going on at the auditorium lobby, verification of transmitted image of results is happening from 34As against from 34Bs. That verification is what's happening there. And then there's also verification of 34Bs against 34As. And there's a team which is collating from 34C. And we shall then be able to populate that on the screen and come up with also percentages of the candidates, and then we shall also be able to know which candidate has scored in terms of the counties to meet the minimum threshold of 25%. And finally, we shall do the declaration of presidential results. In conclusion, I wish to say that the law requires that the Commission undertakes this exercise within 7 days from the presidential election. And as I said earlier, we shall endeavor to conclude this exercise at the earliest possible time. And once again, urge Kenyans for their patience as we undertake this important exercise. So thank you very much. I would like now to introduce the team leader for purposes of this exercise ongoing, Professor Glie, to come forward and give some guidelines on what's happening on the floor. And then if you have any questions, we can take after that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. We did explain the process that is taking place at the auditorium floor, but we explained to the presidential agents then that it's good for us to explain to everyone here what is going on. We have currently 4 desks that are going to serve returning officers as they come in. The returning officers will come in through this gate on my right here at the bottom, and they will walk to any of the 4 desks, 1, 2, 3, 4, any of the 4 desks that will be available. At the desks, once the PO arrives, they come with the original results form as announced at the polling station. That is the result from A. They will also come with the collated constituency-wide results form, which is the form B. What happens there is once they arrive at their respective desks, they will present the originals plus copies of the same, and copies will be given to each of the presidential agents on the desks. And on that desk, apart from our team that is going to do the work that they are assigned, there are presidential agents, 4 of them on the extreme ends of the table. returning officer will sit on the left side, and our team that is receiving and quality assurance will be on the right side of the desks, and the agents are on either side of the corner of the desks. Upon presenting the forms, the team, IEBC team, will do the receiving part of the forms, and here they will do preliminary checks. Are all the forms correctly filled? Are they stamped? Is there a missing entry in the Form B? So that's what they do. Then amongst the team, there will be those who will be doing quality assurance. And here, they will be checking the original Form B that has been brought by the returning officer. And as I said earlier, the Form B is a summation of the Form S in the constituency where the returning officer is in charge. So they will check the entries of B against each of the Form A original that is there, or presented by the RO. So they will check B against the original S to ensure that the entries in the B originates from the Form A. Then after that, we have these two desks. They actually coordinate as desks. What will happen is that that particular desk, the receiving and the QA desk, will also generate, in the event that there are any disparities between A and the B, they will be capturing those errors. And since as a commission we cannot alter if the error originates from the polling station result form, since we cannot alter, they will generate an error report, which will be presented alongside the certified copies of the originals to the Supreme Court. So that's what that desk is doing, and all the other three desks are replicating that. And while we are at those desks, we ask observers, agents, or anybody not to take any pictures of what is going on the desks. And please respect us. We have given you as much openness as is possible, but respect the privacy of the people who are working there and their faces. We do not want any pictures taken on any of these desks. I hope it is clear to media, observers, and any agent present. We do not want the faces of our officers to be splashed all over the world. The coordination desk is a second check on what the quality assurance the B versus A have done. So it's a second check, and that is what happens there. It also, that desk also does, whereas the four desks are checking the original B versus the original A, that particular desk does a check of original A versus the uploaded image of the form in the web portal. From the polling station, POs are supposed to transmit the image of the form from the polling station, and once it is transmitted, a copy is deposited in a publicly accessible web portal. So what this desk will do is to check whether what has been uploaded in the publicly accessible web portal matches the original Form A which the RO has brought. So this is to ensure that what has been uploaded and is available to the public is the correct image of the original Form A as declared at the polling station. So that is one of the coordinating desks here will do. And so the other desk is administrative, is in charge of the entire process. They will also do a quality overall check to ensure that everything is seamlessly running. And the returning officer, once is done with the quality assurance, actually can present the originals to the presidential returning officer. And we have a safe at the back end where all the originals will be kept under lock and key. So that is what is happening here on the floor. We have given presidential agents an application program link, and so they can use their APIs to download and to come here when they already have the results. If they don't want to use their API access, it's even easier to access it from the public web portal. You can actually download by constituency the PDF copies of all the A's in that particular constituency from the public portal. So we are not coming here, agents, presidential agents should not come here to do a tally here, or to counter-check and do entries on the results here. Because if that is to happen, 1 hour will take 3, 4, 5 hours. We don't have that time. So please access, use your API rights given to you, or you can use the public portal to download forms and do your preliminary checks. All you are coming here is for confirmations once you are given copies of the original A's and these as they arrive. And this is to expedite the process. So that is what is happening, and we thought we would need to explain that so that we don't make this process too laborious. Thank you very much.
That was Professor Gulia, who has given details of what is happening at the center of the auditorium floor, the verification of the results, statutory Forms A and Forms B. And for those who are watching us from various platforms, we are at the National Tallying Center here at BOMAS of Kenya. And the next update from the National Returning Officer, Mr. Wafula Chebukati, will be at 4 o'clock. Thank you. Okay, we've had you. Just give us a few minutes. We'll give guidance on that. Okay, can we receive 3 questions for now? Please tell us your name and the media house that you represent. Can we start with you, please? There was a gentleman here first, then we come to you. Okay, please proceed. Thank you. The question is how many Form 34As have arrived? Thank you. And Bs, Form 34As and Form 34Bs. The other question from the gentleman, please.
My name is Irene Mwenge from Capital FM. Now, we had a situation in Old Kibra polling station where the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya presidential candidate Raila Odinga voted. The Form 34A, the original Form 34A went missing. So in that particular situation, will they be able to use Form 34-2 of 2 to tabulate the results, given that Gazetted procedure said that Form 34-1 of 1 will be used to tabulate the presidential results? What happened in that situation? In a situation where the presiding officer loses the original Form 34A?
My name is Jason Myra, and before you answer that question, it's a follow-up. In these instances, instance number 1, the Form 34A at Old Kibra polling station went missing. What happens if the returning officer lost their form before uploading it on the IBC portal? And instance 2, what happens if he had not uploaded? How do you handle that situation?
Allow us to respond to those 3 first.
Okay.
Please. Okay. Give you another round.
I didn't get the question clear. Is it arriving physically or at the portal? Because the portal we have been told, I think it's about 87 or so that is left to be uploaded. Everything else has been uploaded. In terms of physically arriving, we have the first arrow that is being processed here, meaning he must have come with his Form A's, and I think this particular arrow has 1 or 3 Forms A's and 1 from B. There are arrows that are coming in. As and when they arrive, we will give you the numbers of the figures in terms of the A's they are coming with and in terms of the B. That was the first question. What was the second question? What happens if Form 34A is lost? This is likely to happen. In certain insecure areas, we are getting such reports. The Commission will sit in the next couple of an hour or so to make a decision. There's a reason why we have copies, in fact 3 of them. One is the original, which is supposed to be brought by the PO to the RO. Then there is a second copy which is locked in the box, and there is a copy that is meant to be displayed on the door of the polling station. So in the event that any of them is not available, there will be a copy that will be available. Either if it comes extremely important that we have to open and retrieve the A, that decision will be made by the Commission in the next 1 hour. But there are such cases. what happens if Form 34A is spelled? We have only one booklet of Form 34A that is being used, and it is one original and 5 copies, and they are self-coordinated. If any entry is wrong, then the PO has to correct and then countersign in the presence of the agents, because there is no other booklet to be filled.
Please proceed.
Kwa majina naitwa Emmanuel Kilongo from TV Magharibi, na swali langu ni kila mwaka wa uchaguzi tumeona kwamba baada ya matokeo kutangazwa vyama vilivyohusika katika uchaguzi huo huwa inaelekea katika mahakamani. Katika uchaguzi huu kama tume ya IEBC, ni hakikisho lipi ambalo mlipa ushuru kwamba uchaguzi utakapokamilika hakuna pesa zaidi atakazotumika kuharamikia kesi mahakamani? Asante.
Kuna swali jingine?
I'm Collins Omulo from the Daily Nation. My question is, for the areas that you suspended elections in, are the candidates allowed to continue campaigning until 48 hours to their due date?
The question on whether an election petition is avoidable, or whether the commission can avoid an election petition, the reason we have gone to great lengths to try and make the entire process as open as possible is precisely to ensure that everybody is satisfied, so that there is no need for one to go to court. But as a commission, we cannot guarantee that a Kenyan or any party will go to court, because it is their right. And as a country, as a democratic country, with a working constitution and laws, Kenyans can go to court if and when they are aggrieved. And so as a commission, we will prepare ourselves to defend our position in whatever court that we will be taken. And so we cannot give that assurance, but we are trying to be as open and transparent so that everybody can have confidence in the process. And part of that confidence is what is happening on this floor. And by the way, for the first time, we are seeing contestants conceding defeat. For the first time in the history of elections in this country, we have seen contestants conceding defeat at various levels. And this is an indication that each one of them are satisfied with the process. They have done their own tallies and have come to the conclusion that they did not win. And it is our hope that that trend will continue, and it will continue up to the presidential results. As for the question of whether the areas where we suspended the elections campaigns can continue, our view is that campaigns have concluded. This was an eventuality arising from an emergency, and therefore we have not opened up campaign period. So the suspension that has been put in place still applies, because we will do the exercise of the elections immediately after we conclude the current process. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We'll take more questions at 4 o'clock. Are you from the media? Okay, please proceed.
We will only take one question, sorry. We are not asking political parties to print any forms. If you listen to what I said, the returning officer will come with a set of copies. And the presidential agents here will be given a set of copies of the Form S and the Form B as they arrive. So it is up to them if they wish to print from the web portal, if they want to print from the API access they were given, it is up to them. But for us, the copies that we come with, we will give them copies of the forms that arrive at the tally center. So that cost is borne by the commission. But if they want for any other reason, they are free to download and they are free to print at their own cost. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. As Professor has said, the Commission is as open and as transparent as possible and will also be as facilitative as we can be. Thank you very much and see you again at 4 o'clock.